Can you believe we finally come to the end of, oh.
You thought it was Mario Party time, but instead it was Mario Party time? Wait, this isn't what I signed up for. What gives?
Star Carnival!
Of course that was you, Merc. Of course that was you, Merc. Thank you, Merc. Yes, can you believe it? This is the last AI board that we'll be doing for Mario Party, because we can't do any of the other ones, and that's too bad. I have plenty of words to say about most of the other ones, good or ill. Alas, you'll just have to take my word for it. Well, this is the last board of the game, so 50 turns. We're going into outer space. The thing we began with Toad paying off his mortgage, yeah, but now he's successfully paid it off, and he's choosing to party hardy hard in outer space. Welcome to Bowser's Warped Orbit.
Oh look, 30 coins. Go buy yourself a star.
Well, I can buy myself a star and, like, candy or something, I think. Thank you, Joey. Beyond space, beyond time, and beyond decency! We're in the blackest hole of all, Bowser's Warped Orbit. It's seriously sick and twisted. That's the start, don't worry about it. We're in Bowser territory now, and you'll play by his rules, so you start with 5 stars. And earn more the Bowser way! Stealing, steamrolling savagery! You'll need 2 kinds of candy. Bowser candy and bullet candy. Shout out on these to steal stars from each player you pass. Bowser candy lets you smack 2 dice blocks and you'll steal 2 stars from each victim. Bullet candy lets you blast farther. You get 3 dice blocks, but steal only 1 star per victim. Study where foes are before chowing, which will steal you more stars, a short rampage or a long snipe. Let's do it. Arrow first. Todd. Malio. Neato! Store's pretty far here. Neato! Wait your turn, Hammer. And this will be the last time I get to do this. I already feel sad. Bowser's Warped Orbit! The final stage of the game that has to be locked after doing the Star Battle Arena once. So, similar to, some past boards involving Chain Chomps, you start with, preset number of stars and have to steal, steal more from your opponents in order to get ahead. Using candy to do so. It's pretty much the whole strat of what will do me the most damage, or will be the most cost-effective for what I can do. That is quite unfortunate, Merc. Sorry to hear that. So, landing on a DK space in this will cause Donkey Kong to appear in a steel keg satellite. Fucking boss. And they'll give the player a free star or a piece of candy in a Star Battle Arena. Landing on the Bowser space will cause Bowser to appear and take the star from a player. If they have no star, then they'll just lose coins. So the total of 20 stars in play at all times, except for the one that goes in and out of rotation from the DK and Bowser spaces. If you're playing on team battle, then you get 10 on team instead of 5 per character. So landing on the lucky space here will take the player to Shy Guy's Space Buffet, which has a long path of blue spaces and free pieces of bullet or Bowser candy that you can just grab for yourself, no payment. No stars here in this lucky space. This is the only board where they don't do that. One of the green spaces on the board causes Bowser to come down and chase the player all around the board in a complete loop. Anyone in the path will also get chased down, and it'll just move all of the players back to the person who landed on the space. But green space next to Kamek makes uses magical shuffle everyone's candies around. Green space that are next to the warp tube, that one you saw there underneath the observation tower, causes players to travel through the tube forcefully, like you see all that right now. And you get to the other side of the board, and you get 20 coins along the way. Every other green space in this will cause Bowser to flip the direction of the board, making all players go the opposite direction. For Star Battle Arena, how you win this board is to basically steal all of your opponent's stars. You each start with 3. Then you do that, and then you fight Bowser in the final boss minigame. It's alright. Then you win Star Battle Arena. And that's that. So it goes. That's that then. Time to go back to you. Oh shit, time to tear off my headphones again. So, I know I said earlier during this run that I wanted to, save talking about Xenosaga Episode 3 for Sonic Shuffle. But I was like, nah, heck that. I'll talk about it now. I've got time. Got some time before my, stepfather comes back, and this is a 50 turn map, so we're gonna be here for a while, so may as well make the most of it. Xenosaga 3 is a long game, because there's a lot of shenanigans that happen in it, and I think it'll be fun to talk about, because I never got a chance to do so. As such, there will be quite a bit of spoiler territory going on here, but if you're watching these, you don't mind at all, so. I'll start talking the moment this minigame ceases. But yeah, you recall, Xenosaga 2 ended on, well, it ended with Albedo dying, sort of. Nah, he did die for real. Junior wondering about his lot in life. And Wilhelm basically being like, yes, very good, Albedo! I will use you to the fullest extent of your power, and mine, for my own purposes! You know it, as well as I do. Sorry, I'm just moving around my controller. The wires are in the way of my chair. Jesus. Give me a sec. This is starting to get annoying. Stuck?
Donkey Kong!
There. Wow, don't kill him already. Also, we took down the Space Pope, if you recall that. That was fun. So, yeah, episode 3. Long and short of it regarding the game is that episode 2 did an innumerable amount of damage to the series. Almost irreparably so. So they did not have a lot of money to go around for episode 3. It is working with a very limited budget, and you can tell! You can tell. They made the most of it, but there's a certain... you can tell when looking at episodes 1 and 2 that it's lacking a certain level of edge. It'll be more noticeable once gameplay actually starts. But yeah, they put their best foot forward at least, so give them a hand. So, episode 3, also Spoke Zarathustra, or Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Takes place 1 year after the events of episode 2. There was an interim story that happened between the games. In a sort of a... kind of a... browser story that only the Japanese fans got, called Xenosaga Missing Year. Long story short, it just basically chronicles some details regarding Shion, her decision to quit Vector Industries, and decided to go freelance. Which is slightly mentioned during the episode 3, but not really all that mentioned. It's more of a footnote than anything. So, game starts in the year of 4747, about 15 years prior to the events of the game. It is, we see a young boy looking at memories of his, planet going to fucking shit. His mom basically carting him off somewhere and putting him in cryostasis like Superman, like he's Superman or some shit. Gnosis happened to be unleashed when the Zohar went out of control by the Galaxy Federation. And, people are trying to run for their lives. This young boy happens to be Kevin Winnicott. You may recall Kevin as being Shion's boyfriend, who got massacred by the prototype Cosmos back in episode 1, during that game's backstory. We're witnessing his mother's death, and he's carrying with him a pendant that looks very suspiciously like Shion's. His mom puts him in the escape pod, and then, yeah, he's out of there. And the planet that was, that is disappearing is, Mictum, which was mentioned in, episode 1's backstory, that it was part of the Gnosis disappearing thing. Sorta. So yeah, Kevin watches his mom die, as he's like, no, Mom, please come back. Don't leave me here. Even though he's like 8. It's sad. Hard cut to present day, 4768. Again, 1 year after episode 2. Abel's arc had its first appearance. It was huge. And then it ate the Zohar. That it was around Old Milsha. So the rest of the party was like, yeah, let's just do our own thing for a little while, I guess. Jin continues to work with Junior and the gang behind the scenes to investigate the crew of Ormus. And Shion returned to Vector Industries of Cosmos before she decides to quit halfway through that time. As a result of, well, not as a result, what the impetus for Shion's decision to leave was, Gnosis attacks started becoming much more frequent. Like, even more frequent than they have been in these games so far. Starting target cities around the Star Cluster. And then they were getting a lot more precise as well. So people were starting to wonder, maybe is this someone controlling the Gnosis? These attacks are termed Gnosis terrorism. The wiki says so right here. Due to the acceleration of the Gnosis phenomenon, the Galaxy's Federation government issues an evacuation order to planetary governments in the outlying areas of Gnosis activities, stating the Gnosis phenomenon that occurred in the Ogata space. Thanks, Doc. Saying the Gnosis phenomenon that occurred in Ogata space has resulted in the disappearance of over 100 planetary governments in that region. Oh, it was fucking Polly. Okay. The Galaxy Federation government has established an emergency task force that deployed eggs to the regions in question. They're still using eggs. But it is believed that does not result in the reduction of the phenomenon. Yeah, of course, because they're using fucking eggs! So, in a broadcast on 5th Jerusalem, a news announcer explains that Jose Xavier, commander of the Andrus fleet, has declared that this fleet is engaged with the Normus fleet. The Andrus fleet has been sent to investigate an asteroid that was recently discovered in the Gedalia region, where they became locked in a stalemate with the Ormus fleet, which claimed the ownership of the asteroid. Strange that. Upon receiving this information, the Ormus fleet occupying planet Mictum commenced military action toward the Federation fleet in the region. A spokesman for Ormus states that they have no desire for combat and is believed that the Ormus fleet commenced military action after several requests to the Andrus fleet to leave the region were ignored. TLDR, lots of backstory shit you don't really care about. It's just Gnosis doing more Gnosis things and everyone's starting to take notice of it and getting increased activity. Speaking of taking notice, Shion happens to discover a link between her father and the UTIC organization, thanks to some work done by Jin. She suspects Vector is behind it, and the UMN, and resigns her job from her job at Vector, and decides to go to an underground organization called Scientia.
What's this icky paint like goop? Moving! No, boys! Don't touch that stuff!
3 whole years with our boy.
They're basically in the business of intelligence gathering and that sort of thing. And they're an anti-UMN rebel group. That's what it says. We got a pretty interesting cutscene to go into our opening dungeon, which is basically just one cool chase sequence involving Shion, Kanan, who decided to help out Shion and recruit Anna as part of the team, as well as Miyuki, who Shion also recruited. They are going to go do some infiltration. Ah, 4 stars. And with the help of Doctus, who is like an android lady, she's basically the person who is basically telling Shion what to do in Scientia. You have your first dungeon. You break into a Vector secret facility to obtain some very special deets, some documents about the true nature of what Vector has got planned under the sleeves. And so begins Xenosaga Episode 3. You'll notice immediately some nice things about the game that are different. Combat's a lot more streamlined, and I mean a lot more streamlined than Episode 2 was. I mean, it's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 1 step sideways sort of thing. Where combat is much more traditional JRPG than the whole thing that Xenosaga has been doing up till now. For better or worse, I think it works a lot better. Although I feel like the action is a little too fast-paced, and not a whole lot gets to land. You have your standard attack, no button pressing for combos anymore. You have techs, which are basically like skills in like other Final Fantasy games, like FF10 skills sort of thing. Ether. Good old magic, same as always. Attack magic is getting better, still not to the likes of where it probably should be. Support magic is just still way better. But at least they're trying. You also have access to special attacks, which are basically limit breaks, which use your boost meter in order to do strong damage to enemies. And if you happen to beat enemies with a special attack, you get an overkill bonus called Finish Strike, which increases your experience in Gold 1 after a battle. Use these for bosses, they'll be very important. Another thing you'll probably notice upon playing immediately is that there are a lot more in-game cutscenes and not pre-rendered ones. And they are very noticeable this time because they use text boxes now instead of the standard scenes in motion with the dialogue subtitles underneath like they've been using for the past 2 games. And it is extremely noticeable because there's a lot of them here. They only use pre-rendered cutscenes for the big stuff now. Diddy! Fucking boss. So yeah, your opening party in this segment is Shion, Kanan, and best girl Miyuki. Kanan and Miyuki are unfortunately temporary, but make the most of them while you can. They're quite fun to use. So, you do the thing. Eventually, you see that there was a whole thing from the UMN, being in Cephalon Dive, the entire dungeon was a run through that, because we see, Shion in a... when it's all said and done, we see Shion, on a secluded island, I think it's called Medea Island, in her swimsuit. She's just kind of vibing. Speaking of vibing, Shion's Episode 3 design. Character designs got a lot better in Episode 3. They decided to meet halfway between Episode 1's anime aesthetic and Episode 2's realistic style. And yeah, good decision. All the characters look pretty good here. Shion's design in general, it's okay. A far cry from what I'm used to. It's definitely more on the vibrant side of things. But it works. So what Shion and her party ended up recovering was the discovery of Project Kanan. Something related to our homeboy Realian, which Kanan himself was like, oh, interesting. Something that I don't... Maybe this will help me realize my true mission. Of course it was Yoshi. Oh, god damn it. Alright, didn't have to answer that phone yet. So, meanwhile, Vector transfers the Cosmos Project to the Galaxy Federation military, since Shion is no longer working with it. Alan got promoted to being the new chief as a result of Shion's, Shion leaving the project. So at least he's making a name for himself.
Whoa!
The Galaxy Federation is getting a little high and mighty with their tech, and they're eager to put their new project into the working. Akidaze! So they want to go test their new toys against the Cosmos Project to see what's up. So Alan invites Shion to go see the demonstration at 5th Jerusalem, as since she was part of the Cosmos Project prior. and she learns that Cosmos is now scheduled to face off against the Federation's newest weapons in a public demonstration. We go to the cat testing grounds, where Shion meets Abel, a boy who was involved with the Zohar project. Abel is, this little boy you've been seeing every now and then throughout all 3 games. He's just kind of, in the background doing stuff. Not really doing stuff, but he just exists. Looks a little familiar to those who, played Xenogears. This is the first game where he actually does something where he has a legitimate role. It's not just a background character. Even the bit part gets a revival. I believe before Shion is sent off to this place to witness the demonstration with Cosmos is we get to see what the other party members are doing. So let's run it by real quick. Jin, Junior, Momo, Chaos, I think Ziggy's with them too. They're all in the Elsa, and they're investigating a floating landmass that just happened to appear in space. A very big floating landmass called Renla Chateau. And they're traveling in their ESs. But before that, I actually want to go over all the new characters, new designs, since all of them got hella good glow-ups, some to varying degrees. First, let's go over Jin, who's looking a little bit like Satan Uzuki there, but it is one hell of a damn glow-up compared to what he was doing in episode 2. And also just completely solidifies himself as best character. Cause yeah, Jin, he's the fucking best character.
Finish!
Like, he's strong in combat. He's got a strong ES. We get to actually use it now, the Ruben. And Junior, also looking good. He's got a nice cowboy aesthetic going on now. Ziggy, who still looks the same, yet somehow is still cooler every game. I don't know how he does it.
Okie dokie.
Next is my boy Chaos, who's gone from looking like a total dork to being a total monk. Like he's got the monk look down now. And he reflects in combat as well. Like he's definitely the monk class. Pretty great. And probably my favorite redesign in the entirety of episode 3, Momo. Who's like, woo! 180, girl! Killing it now. I really like that outfit. It's very, very nice. So yeah, anyway, all those boys are looking at the landmass around Le Chateau. And they happen to run into Margulis, who's in his ES Levy, also examining the whole thing. And it's your first boss fight with, your first ES battle with Margulis. He's just chilling there. Actually plays a remix of his theme that he was during his fight scene with Jin in episode 2. You'll also notice that there is a lot of battle music in episode 3. After episode 1, where there was only two battle themes in the entire game, the normal one and the final boss, in episode 2 was like, yeah, let's have a little bit more. 3 went all in. Nearly every major battle has its own theme, if it's not a major boss, it doesn't use the major boss theme. There's the minor boss theme, there's the major boss theme, Battle for Your Soul, which I really like as a track by the way. There's like 3 major battle themes per unique characters. There's the final boss theme, there's the ES battle theme, there's the ES boss theme. Actually no, there's not an ES boss theme, it's just the ES has a normal battle theme. And the super boss has a boss theme. So yeah, they were pretty thorough with their music choices. ES battles in particular are quite nice. Not to the extent of episode 2, since they flow a lot better and they feel nice, but there was a little bit of strategy lost in particular, because you no longer have ES Zebulon capable of using ether magic that is linked to Momo, which is unfortunate. I really like that particular quirk, but everything else hits home. You have attacks that you can use, that you can try to build up accuracy for, while spending energy. So it's a management system of what energy use weak attacks first, so you can build up accuracy to use stronger ones. Then you have special attacks, which build up from a meter that you use. And these are pretty damn cool looking attacks. ESs just feel right in this game. Not the best. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with voice clips and stuff, because they're largely silent for otherwise. But a good framework, if nothing else. After the battle with Margulis, the Elsa gets damaged and ends up crash landing onto Le Chateau. Then a hypersphere of energy erupts from the landmass, wrapping it around and trapping the Elsa within. the rest of the party has to escape to the Durandal, which is nearby. Now we get to witness the demonstration of the Federation's weapons and what Cosmos has been doing. So, yeah, we get to see Cosmos at last. When they send her out and about. So, here is Cosmos in her version 3 attire. She actually looks like Cosmos. Thanks, episode 2. And while it's not my favorite look for her, it's pretty alright. Why is she holding a revolver? That's her arm blaster. She just has it. It is Joey. I'm glad you noticed that. You want to know something? Speaking of the Hilbert effect, the episode 3 is the first and only game, as far as I know, to actually employ it as a status effect. Both Cosmos and Momo can do it in battle in episode 3. And it debuffs Gnosis and machines when you use it. But it's a late game ability, but it's a very strong one since it's a global debuff.
Whoa!
I'm gonna need to re-up on water, throw over where you can keep talking, and use the bathroom real quick. So I will be right back.
Whoa!
Okay. So, Cosmos is ready to go, and we see several things regarding the cat testing ground experiment. Shion notices a guy hovering around, kind of a smug asshole, dude in blonde named Roth Montel. Seems kind of fixated on him. Roth Mantel is even going so far as to denigrate Cosmos, and he's like, yeah, my project is gonna knock her flat, dude. He's all smug about it, and Shield's like, don't know shit about my girl Cosmos. What's with this guy? I feel like I know him from somewhere. So the demonstration happens, and we get to see the first of the Federation's new toys. Y'all remember Proto Omega from episode 2? The robot that the Space Pope was using? Yeah, they decided to. The Galaxy Federation decided to retool it for their own purposes. Here is Omega Res Novae. They're basically trying to use it as their power source, but now that the original Zohar is gone, thanks to Abel's Arc, they're trying to use the Zohar emulators to supplement its power source. And I believe Abel is meant to be the pilot controlling it. They're not doing so great. They're trying. They really are trying, but their trying of show of force is not the best. But that thing is not the main attraction of this demonstration. This is. Friends and others, I introduce to you Telos.
Go!
I guess with the chimp, the biggest part of the demonstration. So, Telos is essentially Cosmos' opposite in pretty much every way. Whereas Cosmos is cold and calculating and very robotic, Telos is very hot. Like, hot-blooded, crass, snarky, and very aggressive. That is correct. Joey is correct. So both Cosmos and Telos have a go at Omega Res Novae. Cosmos gets the shit kicked out of her. Like, she's trying her best, but she just cannot keep up with Omega Res Novae. While Telos is like, chump change, and completely blows Omega out of the water in like a couple of shots. Child's play. Your usefulness has ended.
Wow!
Thanks. So yeah, that was pretty much all. It says all that needed to be said about the whole thing. The Federation was gonna go with using Telos as their anti-Gnosis weapon, and they decided to actually scrap Cosmos entirely and just throw her to the wayside. But hey, as it turns out, Cosmos also happens to be able to break that hypersphere thing that's going wrong with the Elsa. Thanks to Yuli's observations. So the rest of the crew meets up with Shion again, and they decide to break into a Federation compound in order to rescue Cosmos. With Miyuki's help, you get to use her again for the first half of this dungeon. And I'm like, yeah! Let's go! Let's go, Miyuki! Best girl, best girl, best girl! Poor Miyuki, though, she gets kind of shit on this game for a bunch of things. She don't deserve it. Yeah, they finally managed to break into the compound and they get Cosmos out of there. Just barely, but they do. So, with Cosmos' help, the group managed to break into Rennes Chateau, and it's an ES dungeon, so get to pal around with the robots for a little while. About, I think, I want to say halfway through the dungeon, the crew is ambushed by Blue Testament, who's been just kind of going back and forth around the whole thing ever since he first appeared. Blue Testament unmasks himself to the party as... Da-da-da-da! Louis Virgil, who they didn't know was Blue Testament this entire time, but the player knew, thanks to episode 1. This is his moment. He's basically taunting them, then all sorts of shit. I think he's still giving Shion guff. You fight him in an ES battle, I think. I think it's an ES battle. Then he kind of fucks off after you take him out, and then the party keeps going inwards into the interior around Le Chateau. They find an old tomb! And they're like, huh. Wonder what this tomb is about. It's kind of funky. Before they can really examine it all the way through, Telos reappears with Roth Mantell, who ditches the disguise and reveals himself to be Red Testament! Ah, shock horror! And then he just continues to shit on Cosmos. It's like, yes, you are never going to be worthy of housing whatever in this tomb. You reject, you fake, you phony. Shion's like, dude! Talking mad shit about my girl Cosmos? Get the hell out of here! And he's like, nah, son, you got it all wrong. Cosmos is less than shit, my girl! And then you have a boss fight with Telos. Pretty good boss fight, all things considered. But then after the boss fight is where shit gets real. I mean real. So, Telos then proceeds to just go ham on Cosmos. And I mean ham. Cosmos is unmatched. She cannot win. And this is the same robot lady that has been dominating the entirety of 2 games worth of content. She can't even lay a finger on Telos. She gets bodied. Pretty awesome cutscene, by the way. Red Testament continues to gloat some more. Told you your girl was less than shit. And then Xion is like, no, Cosmos! Her pendant begins to emit a very strange, bright light, and then engulfs the entirety of Rennes Le Chateau. Then we see flashbacks to Xion's time with Kevin. When they were dating and stuff. We even see them having some quite intimate moments, and they even share a kiss on screen. And I was like, ah, disliked, flagged for terrorism. We also get to see more of some things regarding Udo. See, I haven't mentioned this yet, but throughout the game, like pretty much in various points throughout the game, Xion has red flashes that happen to her at random intervals. And they kind of feel like sharp strikes of pain to her. And there's like, oh, what's going on with this? And of course, everyone can see it happening every now and again. They're like, Xion, you okay? And she's like, oh, don't worry about me, it's fine, it's nothing. Yeah, those red flashes, that's Udo trying to communicate. As it turns out, Udo is, kind of ELS in this whole thing, trying to figure out what humanity is up to, and wants to understand more of humanity, but every time it tries to involve itself in humanity, things go wrong. And it just kind of necessitated in this whole misunderstanding. Every time Udo does a thing, everyone just kind of freaks out. Meanwhile, Xion is just trying to piece everything together, while Udo is trying to converse with her. And then Xion's just wondering, why this? Why is this happening to me, and why now? It's all very strange. When the flashbacks come to end, Xion and the party find themselves stranded somewhere in the middle of nowhere, in like a little forest area, and they're trying to get their bearings, wondering where the hell they are, because it's not immediately obvious. Where they are. But you know what? I'm gonna spoil it for you. Go on, take a guess where they are. If you've been following these synopses, take a guess. I should know what turn. I don't know what turn we are. I'm not even really I'm not really paying attention to what's happening on the game, so I'm focused on the art and the synopses right now. So they're back on Old Milsha 15 years ago. Once again, we're back on Old Milsha because the devs just fucking love this place. The party doesn't find out about this until a little bit later. It is like days. The time frame is about days before the Miltian descent happened and the planet disappeared. So, the party is mostly fine, except for Cosmos, who they don't know where she is, but she's bodied, so we can successfully rule her out, and there's no sign of Telos or Red Testament anywhere either. So they're just trying to figure things out from there. And try to find Elsa. So, on their way to finding the Elsa, they run into a bunch of Utic soldiers harassing a Federation soldier. And said Federation soldier happens to be a young Virgil. Which is their first clue that something's quite not right here. Virgil is not looking good. He's kind of bleeding out and shit, and things are looking quite bad for him. So he asked the party to take him to a church that's nearby. And, we see the church that we saw back in episode 1, the one where Shion is familiar with, where you fought the damn Tiamat in episode 1. Here we see, Fabronia, you may recall. As, the caretaker of the church. Yeah, I haven't got a chance to view Fabronia yet. Here's a full look at her. You may recall, this wasn't super mentioned. I didn't bring this up, but you may recall that back in episode 1, you have noticed that it was brought to the attention of the player that Virgil kind of has a thing for eating Realian tissue. Like it's a drug to him. And that's why he has that scar on his face, because he's a DME addict, that's what they call it. Wanna know how he got it? As Virgil was bleeding out, Fabronia decided to donate a good chunk of her organs to Virgil so he could live. As a Realian, she's able to regrow her organs, so it's not as squicky as you think it might be. Yeah, this is worth it for Vernia, apparently. It's here that Virgil also happens to chance upon a young Shion Uzuki. Their second clue that something's quite not right here. Yeah, Virgil was like significantly less assholeish as a young plucky soldier than when we saw him back in episode 1. And a lot of it has to do with what happens with Fabernia here, so shit got real. So the party manages to find the Elsa and Cosmos, who's being repaired by the Professor. I didn't mention the Professor, but the Professor is part of a side quest involving a super robot named Erde Kaiser. But here he's in episode 3, he's actual character along with Assistant Scott, and he's helping around fixing Cosmos and stuff. But fixing Cosmos may not be on the cards this time, as it was revealed to Shion and the rest of the party that Talos fucked her up so bad that the core is damaged almost completely beyond repair. So, to the point where Cosmos may never wake again, which devastates Shion. She gets to sit by Cosmos's pod and just cry. And Alan is once again like, oh, Chief. He's just bad. He's just feeling it bad. The vessels of Anima, by the way, these are the things that power the ESs. There are 12 of them, and they each power an ES. They happen to be missing. So the ESs cannot function currently. Damn, Toad on fucking fire here. I believe I think it might be either on their way to seeing the Elsa, or after finding the Elsa and then just trying to serve their surroundings some more. They run into two people. They first run into Mai Magus, and then her grandfather Eisen Magus. Mai in particular is particularly noteworthy, as she comes charging at you rather bullheadedly. Judy even making a comment about her, your bullheadedness reminds me of someone I know, Shion. Although Shion doesn't quite catch on. And she kind of has a player character look to her. She's another Xenogears reference. Mai is basically very similar to that of Maria Balthazar, and her Autotech loophole is a redesign of Maria's gear, Steven. Mai's cool. I wish she actually did more, like she was a temporary playable character, but you don't get to do that. You just fight her as a boss. So, Shion and the rest now determined to trying to make the most of their situation. Shion wants to find out more about her father's involvement with UTech, since she had come up to that decision previously, thanks to the start of the game. So Shion, along with Alan, decide to disguise themselves as scientists and secretly infiltrate Labyrinthos. Labyrinthos is the place which houses the acute neurosis treatment facility, which was where Shion's mother was being treated. which ended up confirming her father's involvement with UTech. Since now he's like, yeah, time to use my wife. Time to have more details regarding this whole sickness that she's got going on. So, during the infiltration, Shion happens to come across a young Kevin Winnicott. A little awkward seeing the boy you would eventually fall in love with as a young kid, but guess what? He was still kind of a rude asshole. Like, he is a smug little shit back in the day. Like, he's 14, I believe, at this point. And yeah, he's smuggo. Smuggo! Wanna deck him. Oh, I wanna deck him! Coincidence of coincidences, Shion also happens to, find, Cosmos' basic theory on, Kevin's computer while he was working on it. Yeah, he was working on Cosmos all the way back then. And Shion recognizes it as the basic framework for Cosmos, like, shit, I can use this! And she copies it. As a chance that she could use this to, save Cosmos. We also find out that Kevin, in his youth, was, assistant to, Yoaki Mizrahi. Momo's father and the so-called madman behind the disappearance of old Milsha. He also happened to be the caretaker of Fibronia. All sorts of shenanigans coming out today. Hey, Kevin.
Bowser!
Bowser! So thanks to that little excursion, they have the data they need to be able to save Cosmos, and Professor gets right to work on it. After a bit of shenanigans happen, oh shoot. Ooh, 2 9s.
Whoa!
Sorry about that, got called away. So anyway, shenanigans happen. And then we get an appearance by Black Testament. Voyager's coming in and he's like, yeah, I see you trying to activate that Cosmos again. Their new refurbished tech. How about we don't do that? And tries to disable him. Disable before she gets to proc. So you basically just see Voyager just come swoosing on in. And like the entire party is trying to stop him. And like even Captain Matthews gets in on them. He's with Junior and I think Tony as well, and they're just firing guns. Trying to fire at Voyager, and he just bounces. They just all bounce off of him. The bullets just bounce off of him because he protects the barrier. Ziggy tries to punch him, gets nowhere. Even Cosmos, or not Cosmos, Shion tries to go for it, and that does nothing too. And Voyager's like, hey, grabs Shion. Like, yeah, you guys are starting to get real annoying. So things are looking kind of bad for the party. But then suddenly, a bright flash of light starts emanating from the pod. It's the Hilbert effect. What? The Hilbert effect? That could be? That can only mean the pod's hatch flips open, jumps out, a hand emerges, trying to stop Voyager, and then she's coming back. What is the name of the track that plays in the cutscene?
Donkey Kong!
Version 4 Cosmos awakens! And she's ready to rock, boys! So you have a boss fight with Voyager. Pretty good boss fight, and your first chance to use Cosmos in like several hours of gameplay. And yeah, she's looking pretty good now. Yeah, this is the other Cosmos design that sees pretty widespread use. Project Crosstown does use this design. And it's a good look! My second favorite look for Cosmos is past the vanilla one. Or version 1 look. So they fend off Voyager, and then the party thinks to themselves, hey, if we're in the past, do you think we could change the past? Or change so we can change the future? We can do it. We can change the future! They want to see if they can find a way to prevent the Miltian conflict from happening, so a lot of shenanigans can don't take place. Maybe we can save all those URTVs that fell during Udu's takeover. We can save Shion's parents. We can prevent the Gnosis from coming. Long story short, they fucking don't! They try their asses off, but they fucking don't. But at least they give it a good try. So they decide to get back the vessels of Anima because they theorize that if they have that with the ESs, they can be able to use their power to get back to their own timeline. And as well as figure out what the hell Joachim Mizrahi was trying to do. So they go back to Labyrinthos, find the vessels of Anima, steal them, and then escape with their ES. Then Shion... Oh god, it begins! It fucking begins! Shion overhears her mother's name being called, Aoi, over the PA system in Labyrinthos. And Shion's like, oh fuck that! I gotta know more about my mom and try to help her. Ditches the party mid-flight in ES to try and find things on her own. And everyone is like, what the hell? So they have to immediately go around to find her. So Shion tries to sneak her way back in, and guess what? It doesn't fucking work. She's caught immediately by younger Margulis, Kevin, and her father. It is now hours away from the Federation's descent operation that kicks off the Miltian conflict. So everyone decides, yeah, we gotta go find Shion now. Guys, we gotta save Shion! Guys, we gotta beat Misty! But as it turns out, Shion learns that her father, who is not aware of that he's actually talking to her, his future daughter, is actually trying to help out Shion. He's like, hey, my daughter, she's in a lot of trouble right now. Maybe you can go get her? Keep her safe and stuff? Thanks, that'd be great. While everyone else is trying to fend off the UTIC and Federation soldiers trying to run amok as Shion makes her way back to the church to go get young Shion. But by then, it's already too late! The Miltian conflict, the dust sets on old Miltia, and the Miltian conflict has begun in earnest once again. We actually got a couple of pretty interesting scenes here. We see the URTVs going mental. You actually get to fight them this time as generic enemies. We also get to see the ES Asher flying up overhead and dropping the loaded gun that it had in the very beginning of episode 2. Which almost hits the party as it is now. We really get a funny line out of it where the gun is laid down close to them, And Junior looking up at the machine is like, "Hey! Watch where you're throwing that thing, you moron!" Chaos immediately next to him, as he was the pilot of the ES Asher at that time, just looks down sullenly and going, "Sorry." It's like, ah, jeez! I got a pretty good laugh out of that. So the team makes it back to the church, with trying to find Xion, but they see that it is being assaulted by the Berserker Realian troops that have been affected by the Song of Nephilim, which has started playing now. Fabronia is trying her best to defend young Xion and the recuperating Virgil, but whoops, she's killed by the ravaging Realians. Virgil, who was taking a very nice liking to Fabronia, thanks to her taking good care of him, just goes fucking ham on the Berserk Realians and just slaughters them. So he can help the rest of the party escape. But that's when present-day Virgil, and as the Blue Testament reappears, is like, "Hey, what's going on in this thread?" And so now everyone much more versed about Virgil's state of being and how he was like, "Yeah, you this whole Fabronia business fucked you up real good, man. Could you, like, stop?" And he's like, "Nah, fuck off! This is my business, not yours." Yeah, a boss fight with Virgil. This time on foot, this time. No ES. You get to hear the Testament battle theme. Really awesome, slow-paced theme. Very moody. And I believe Virgil is actually quite a formidable opponent. They do their best to fend him off, but Virgil is about to get the upper hand. But before he can, he hears Fabronia's voice. I'm like, "Virgil, it's alright." I think she just called him by his first name, Lewis. Oh, we're halfway through? Okay, this shouldn't take too much longer, I think. So Veronia appears, basically tells Virgil, "It's okay, dude. You no longer have to be angry anymore. I understand your true feelings. It's fine. We can go into the great beyond together." Virgil is basically like, "I immediately understand and forgive this entire plot." Nah, it's a pretty emotional scene. He breaks down crying and shit. We get to see more about his how he's feeling and stuff. And decides, yeah, again, this is no longer worth it. You guys can have this. And decides to go with Fabronia's spirit. And basically they ascend to the afterlife. Quite nice. Virgil's role in the story is over now. I can't believe Xenosaga III was Kingdom Hearts 3 before Kingdom Hearts 2! So yeah, Virgil, he was an alright guy. Actually. He just needed to to sort his feelings out. But enough about fucking Virgil. We gotta know where young Shion's up to. Guys, you gotta find Shion. Guys, you gotta beat Misty. Young Shion has made her way back into Labyrinthos, trying to find her parents. And see if she can help them out. How many people did Virgil kill again? A few. Few dozen, give or take. Fuck that unambiguously happy ending. Young Shion goes back to Labyrinthos to find her parents. Then the team follows her. Berserk realities running amok throughout the entire facility. By the time they make it back to Shion's mother's room, they see that Shion. We see that young Shion bears witness to her father trying to protect her from the Berserk Realians, but he gets killed for it, and then they hack away at her mother's body. While Shion's just hiding underneath the bed covers, listening to the screams and shit. Having witnessed her parents being murdered. I think with this, how this happens in this game is that Shion, present-day Shion, finally gets to see how it relives the entire memory. She gets to see how her father was butchered, and how her mother was butchered. She even tries to stop the Realians, but alas, no good. We even get to see a very, very sad scene where, although this is actually kind of butchered in the American version, because it was censored, we see young Shion trying to put the blood that was out of her Aoi's body back into her body, but she can't do it. And blood is dripping all over her. Like, put it back! I've got to put the blood back into mommy! So she can wake up! And in the censored version, like in the normal version, you see a whole bunch of blood and it's a blood puddle she's having in her hands and shit. In the censored version, there's nothing there. There's nothing. Nothing. You're completely ruining this entire emotional moment with fucking nothing. I can't believe Athena side stole it. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Hey, at least Athena is a way better character than Shion, so at least that plot point got some use. But wow, the censorship really neutered the impact of that scene super hard. And then we see young Shion crying out to the heavens. It's like, Mama! And guess what? Shion crying caused her pendant to react. And that caused the Gnosis to spawn into the world. Not the Song of Nephilim. It was Shion. She called the Gnosis. Present-day Shion witnesses this and realizes the entirety implications of what just happened. And then she begins to freak out. And guess what? Shion freaking out again causes the pendant to react again, and Abel's arc to appear! While Wilhelm is also in the vicinity as well. Like, oh! Wilhelm was like, yes, the first awakening has happened. And then the Red Testament appears along with Talos and is like, yep, that's how it happened. Shion called the Gnosis to come in. She caused everything to happen. All this was her fault. Red Testament unmasks himself. And we find out it is, shock gasp, Kevin. Now, if you were playing, you'd probably notice the similar voices, but we can't do that here. And they've been consistent for all games where we've heard Red Testament talk. They've had the same voice as Kevin, so yeah, if you had a good ear, you probably would have picked it up a while ago, but can't do that here. Literally, who could have known what that happened from that? So, you get the lowdown on what's up with Shion's mom. Turns out that she also has the ability to talk to Udo, and that's the entire reason why the facility exists, the acute treatment facility, is to research more about the whole contact with Udo phenomena happening. Turns out that Shion has it too, as it is hereditary. And Kevin reveals that if this goes off unchecked for any length of time, it will eventually kill the host. So yeah, if this keeps up, Shion is going to die. How, basically, is that it draws power from Ludo's contact with Shion draws power from the Zohar, which draws power from Cosmos, continuing to cause undue anguish to Shion's own body. All this news, understandably, upsets Shion very greatly. And in her panic state, her dizzy tenure, she decides to try to leave with Kevin, who offers Shion to come with him, because he can state that he can fix her, make it all better, make it all go away. And she's like, yeah, Kevin, I trust you, but literally everyone else in the room, including Cosmos, no, don't do this. And Shion's like, but guys, he's my boyfriend! And even Cosmos, no! Bad Shion! She then, Talos and Kevin attempt to take Shion by force, but they manage to blow him back. The Elsa comes in just in the nick of time and gets the party out of there. It is then revealed that this entire trip into Old Milsha was a deep dive into Shion's own subconscious, and not the past. So yeah, nothing doing with the whole future thing. Sorry about that. Shion had repressed the memories of her parents' death, and reliving all these memories caused all those memories to reawaken. Which was what the Testaments was all planning from the start, which caused Abel's Arc to appear so they can get their next plan in motion. So now Abel's Arc is back into the picture. And I believe that ends disc 1. Don't quote me on that. I think that's the end of disc 1. Why is this so bad? It gets better. It gets better, Vanessa. So, Dmitry Yuriev, you may recall him, the dude behind the OTVs. He recently took over Gainen's body. He's still doing that. So, Yuriev takes command of the Merkabah, which is the finalized version of the final boss dungeon that was in episode 1. And his Federation fleet just trying to dive right into Abel's Arc. So the party is like, yeah, no! We gotta stop this dude! And they begin chasing the Elsa.
Go!
And it's like a war zone between them, the Federation, the Gnosis, and Ormus, which is led by Margulis. The Merkabah, I believe, is another ES dungeon. It's a pretty big one, too. So, at the end of the dungeon, the team meets Sellers. He's the blind red-headed dude in a wheelchair. I think we finally learned his deal. He reveals that he tried to play Joachim Mizrahi for a fool. Oh, this game is 2 discs. Don't worry. Disc 2 is just just only a little bit shorter than disc 1. Not that much. So Sellers try to do Joachim Mizrahi dirty, and Joachim is like, "Ha! No one does me dirty!" Shoots his kneecaps off. Which is why he's a paraplegic. Sellers reveals to the party that Yuriev needs the Zohar amuletors that are stored within the Durandal to unite with Abel's Arc. Oops! He's storming the Durandal! And yeah, it's not good. The Durandal get fucking it's hard to watch. It's even hard to talk about because I've grown so attached to the Durandal, and talking about it now it just feels bad. It's just one levels of feels bad. You see the Federation fleet just gunning down people in the fleet on the Durandal's crew left and right, and they take no prisoners. People are getting butchered. Dimitri walks into onto the bridge. As Guinan, basically taunting Mary and Shelly, who are still there. And I think he even stabs Mary. She survives, but she's in a bit of a bad way. Oh yeah, turns out Mary and Shelly have the Arbiter Code, which sets off the seal that is guarding the Zohar emulators, which is why he did what he did. And so the team makes it back to Durandal, but they're way too late. The crew's fucking done, dude. They make it to the bank where the Zohar emulators are being stored, and run into Citrine, the female URTV that I mentioned back in episode 2, who's helping Dimitri. He's like, I will protect my father, because he's the one who will rule this entire world. Something like that, I don't know. You fight Citrine. She's actually kind of a tricky boss, because she employs this very mean combo. One of her attacks sets the party's HP to 666, and then she follows it up with an attack that does exactly 666 damage if you don't counter immediately. It's bad. Symbolism. So, I believe Yuri at this point rams the Durandal into Abel's Ark. And then, which causes Abel's Ark's design to just, like, entirely shift. So, the party decides to just go stop it by going through the Abel's Ark from the inside. Yes. Hold on a sec. Okay, Steph Hour's home. Gonna have to quiet down a little bit. So I think when you enter the Abel's Ark entirely, you actually get to see the exterior of the Durandal just completely mangled. It's... oh. Make it stop. It's so bad. It feels so bad. So, Junior helms the team inward since he has beef with Yuriev naturally, as Yuriev is his father. And they basically just charges right in, and they have a boss fight with Yuriev, who's basically akin himself to that of a god. I don't think there's two bosses with him. So you fight him once on foot, and then again when he's merged with Omega Res Novae, become Omega Universitas. We get 2 unique boss themes back to back, it's pretty awesome. After that particular set of bosses, Albedo appears as the White Testament. He draws out the power of the Zohar and Abel, and teams up with Junior to be able to absorb Gainan's will into Junior's mind. Since Gainan, he's basically lost his sense of self ever since Yuriev took over. So Gainan basically has to sacrifice himself in order to defeat Yuriev once and for all, and Albedo as well. Decides to they all decide to hook up into Junior's mind. And we actually get to see a very, very brief glimpse of what Junior looks like as an adult. I actually planned to have this form of Junior as a player character in episode 3, but they ran out of time to implement it properly. Here's what the boy looks like, all grown up. So yeah, Gainan and Albedo, part of Junior's mind now, successfully fending off, successfully take out Yuriev. And Albedo is like, yeah, I finally get to be with you now, my brother. Sorry for all the fucking shit I caused all 3 games. And Junior's like, it's alright, don't worry about it, just sleep now, moron. Before Albedo disappears, he informs Junior that the Zohar and Abel are in Mictum, which happens to be the final dungeon. Well, it's air quotes the final dungeon. It's like 2 in 1. Yeah, Joey. Albedo appeared after Yuriev did the thing when they finally cornered him. And basically, they fused together with Gainan, their subconscious, in order to isolate out Yuriev and take him out, so he can never do shit again. So, yeah, the battle lines are drawn. The party goes to Mictum to end this charade once and for all. Mictum is currently the battleground between Ormus and the Gnosis. We also learn that Cardinal Heinlein reveals himself to Margulis as Wilhelm in disguise. Wilhelm reveals that he was the one who created the entire Ormus religion, as well as Vector and Hayam Industries for his own purposes. And this basically causes both Margulis and Pellegrini to go, what the fuck? You just played us for fools? He's like, yeah. And I'll do it again if I wanted to. Aha, I got you. This causes both of them to go rogue and basically do a suicide by cop sort of thing as bosses for the final dungeon. Pellegrini first and then Margulis later. If I had to ballpark it, Matt, I'd say that Disc 1 is about 15 to 25 hours of length gameplay-wise, and cutscene as well, and Disc 2 is about 10 or so. It's been a while since I played Xenosaga III, so those numbers are not accurate, but that's what I remember. So, party makes it to Mictum. The first part of it is an ES dungeon. They fight Richard and Herman, who now have their own ESs. You may recall them as the dudes who tried to chase Momo at the start of episode 2. Then Pellegrini again. Pellegrini has a lot of unresolved shit. Thanks to her feelings for Jen way back in the day, but they were very unresolved. However, she's fine to die a warrior's death, and that's exactly what happens. Party kills her. She goes down in a blaze of glory in her ES. So the party makes it to the Archon Cathedral in the center of Mictum, and they fight Voyager. I think they fight him in his ES this time. He eventually tries to scrap with Testament, or with a Voyager, but he's no match for him still. Voyager reveals that he had tried to convince Ziggy to be a Testament together with him. Which is why he was pursuing him, even back in his previous life. And he even believes that all of the other party members are suitable candidates to be Testaments themselves. And then Kanan shows up, and then he's finally aware of what he is entirely. He reveals his real name to be Lactus, and explains the true purpose of Project Kanan. He was created by Wilhelm to observe suitable traits for the team as candidates for Testaments. I should forgot about that little detail. Yeah, cheers for that meta. So Voyager's deal is that he's basically working under Wilhelm so he can gain lots of power, and he's a greedy son of a bitch. And Kanan notices this. So they attempt to establish a link to Wilhelm's compass of order and chaos. That there's this little thing, this glowing blue-green cube that's seen around Wilhelm's office. You see it every now and again in these games. And Voyager tries to make a grab for it, feeling that it is the source of Wilhelm's power. As it turns out, the compass happens to have details pertain to the entire secrets of the universe. And there are so many secrets that no mortal man could ever hope to know and hold them. This sort of power ends up obliterating Voyager. And he and Kanan sacrificed themselves. Well, Kanan sacrificed themselves to take out Voyager with him by using that link to Wilhelm's compass. So, R.I.P. Kanan, you did at least every good by taking out Voyager for us, so cheers, my guy. They both get sent to another dimension! But with this, we make ourselves nice and comfy because we are getting headlong into the final dungeon territory. And this is when shit gets real. And I mean real. The rest of the dungeon, I believe, is on foot from this point onward. And you just fight a bunch of Gnosis again. A lot of them for like the mini-bosses back in episode 1. Hold on, we're getting there. We're getting there, Vanessa. Don't jump the gun. They make their way into the center of the facility that's where Wilhelm is in, and they get real close to a nice bright blue area where they find and they encounter Telos once again. Oh, Vanessa, you are going to fucking love this. Are you guys sitting down? Are you sitting down? So the party has another fight with Telos again. Telos reveals to the party that her base body is actually the body of Mary Magdalene. Yes, that Mary Magdalene. Yes, that Mary Magdalene. It was, as it was, Mary had the power of the universe within her. And Wilhelm was wanting to use this for his own purposes. So he wanted to make a robotic construct to use this power of Mary's. The first attempt was with Cosmos, because they had to use an artificial body. They used her soul. Cosmos's body houses Mary's soul, but they were not able to find her body until recently. Which is what Telos is constructed as. And she also has the ability to integrate herself with Mary's soul, which is why why Telos wants to destroy Cosmos, so she can basically do a Namekian mind meld and absorb her body, so they can become a complete being and gain the full power of Mary Magdalene. Telos also manages to call Shion the Maiden of Mary, as she holds the key to Mary's will, the pendant. The pendant is,
Wow!
the house of, Mary's will. However, as a result of this battle, Mary's will and her tight bond with Shion finally awakens the spirit within Cosmos, and Mary fully awakens. And it is quite poignant too, because this causes Cosmos to get a complete personality rewrite. She's now much more open, loving. She basically has emotions and stuff now. Yeah, Meta just brought it up. Anytime during the course of the game where Cosmos' eyes would turn blue, that's Mary taking over. And you can tell because there were very noticeable changes in Cosmos' personality and diction whenever Mary decided to step in. This time Mary's in the forefront for the rest of the game. She beat Cosmos, beats Telos very handily now. It's a complete 180 from the fight in the beginning of the middle of the game. Oh, do they explain this in do they do this scene in Cross Zone too? If they do, that's pretty swank. Okay. So yeah, Cosmos beats the shit out of Telos, and then we get to see Cosmos' new final attack. Called D Tenedratas. I think that's, I have no idea how you pronounce that code name. Basically, think the X-Buster, but instead of a giant, massive lasers appearing from Cosmos' chest, it's just a big ball of fire energy. It's a big, giant blue ball of fire energy. Just fires it, and it's like filled with gravity power, and then just completely flattens her foes. Again, let me see if I can find an image for you guys. Damn, I can't seem to find an image of the attack by itself. I can see the startup, but not the attack itself. Well, yeah, the chest compartment opens up. You get to see a little bit of the booby, and then an energy ball fires forward, and then it just completely does a shitload of damage to the enemy. Pretty hot. I mean, it's hot because it's fire elemental. Oh yeah, Chaos! Forgot about him for a second. Chaos, guess what his role is? There's a reason why he's so close to Cosmos in particular. Oh, is it her map attacking across zone? That's pretty nice. So Chaos's, role is that... You know Jesus? He's not Jesus, but he's the guy behind the miracles. Chaos is God, lol. So the trope pals with Jesus literally applies to Chaos. What the fuck is up with this game? Oh, I'm living now. This is worth it. Oh, this is worth it. Whoa. Oh, this is worth it now. So, after Cosmos absorbs Telos, Kevin appears and he tries to convince Cosmos and Xion to switch to his side. And then it happens. And then it fucking happens. Xion, pretty much blinded by her own emotions, her love for Kevin, and completely racked with the levels of grief that she's been throwing throughout the entire game, decides to not listen to her friends, trying and knowing that her boyfriend is not the same Kevin that she knew, but rather someone trying to use her for their own purposes. She ignores them. She says this isn't right. She defects to Kevin's side. After spending 3 games with her, trying to understand Xion's mental stasis, and yeah, you can understand what she's going through, why she comes to this decision, why she's thinking this way, why she feels like Kevin will be the right port of call for her in this situation. You can understand that she's under a lot of pressure and stress, but to literally feel like ignoring her friends, her robot creation, the people who love her, her family, all these people who legitimately give a shit about her, over her insane as fuck boyfriend, who's just revealed to be using them for their own purposes, taking advantage of Xion's mental capacity, and she can't do it. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I got to see this flipped my fucking shit. I was irate. I fucking rate. Even now, still don't want to believe it. This character that ended up being so beloved could do the party so dirty like this. It is a massive betrayal of what I thought of her. I just felt so scorned.
Go!
And in the thick of it all, Kevin and Xion team up to fight the party in a boss battle. And yeah, you fight Xion legit alongside Kevin. The rest of the party is basically telling her to stop. Xion, come to your senses. You're better than this. And Xion's like, no, please don't hurt Kevin. He's just trying to help me. Why can't you see that? Welcome to episode fucking 3. This is what we've been building up all fucking game for. All fucking game for. On the bright side, you can have Ziggy Chogu Shion to death. Or you can summon Erde Kaiser Sigma to completely obliterate her and Kevin. This is like the only bright spot, and trust me, believe me, I made sure she fucking deserved it. I was so mad. I gave her the most sickest vibe check, and over I was like, oh, you did me the fucking dirty throughout this whole game. For episode 2 as well. I'm gonna enjoy this. Yeah, I was not happy, but at least I got a cathartic boss fight out of it, so. After the fight, Alan, bless my boy, bless him so much. Alan is like, guys, what the hell are you doing? Stop fighting! And Junior's like, get out of the way, Alan. And even Jin is like, yes, seriously, get out of the way. And Alan's like, no! This is stupid! Why are you fighting Shion? Why are you fighting the Chief? We have to work together to stop the universe from collapsing in on itself right now. And Kevin is like, do you seriously think you can do anything? You useless man. You fucking cockroach. You think you can do anything? Alan. God bless him. The games have been shitting all over this man. 3 games straight. 3 games. And this is where he finally decides to be a man, step up, and proclaim his one true power. He doesn't care that he is a insignificant speck in the universe compared to Kevin's cosmic power, or Wilhelm's power, or whatever the hell the planet he's got. He likes Shion, and he wants to be there for her in her time of need, even when she basically rebuffs him and everyone else away. He doesn't care. He wants to do it. He wants to be that guy to wipe away her tears. And then Kevin begins to torture Alan, shocking with Sith lightning, magic shit, batters him around and all that. We see Alan, this fucking knob end of a man who can't do anything. He's bruised, he's battered. We see he's got a black eye now. He doesn't give a fuck. He just keeps trying to proclaim his feelings for Shion and that what he's doing is wrong. Oh yeah, shit, I completely forgot to mention this. During the Labyrinthos infiltration period, Alan actually temporarily joins the party. I was like, yeah! Yeah! He is by far the worst party member since, like, he's not a fighter at all. He uses a crossbow, but he's trying. And I was like, yeah, I respect the Moxie. I used him in my party just because I like him a lot. But yeah, he continues to just hold his own against Kevin, despite just being hopelessly outclassed. Kevin is about to land the final blow, then Shion tells him to stop. Like, don't bother with this guy. Like, he's just... It's pointless to even give this guy the time of day. And then Alan is like, Shion, are you listening to yourself? I don't care what you think of me. I'm going to fight for you, and that's all there is to it. And then Shion starts having a change of heart and basically telling Alan to back down. Please stop. You just can't. I don't want you getting hurt because of me, alright? Again, Alan is undeterred about the whole thing, and then Kevin begins to once again make the final blow, but the shot is parried by Cosmos, who protects Alan. And then fucking Cosmos is like, "You're almost there, Alan. You can reach your heart. I believe in you. I believe in you. You can do it, my son. Go for it." And then Cosmos takes the limp Alan closer and closer to Shion, with a smile on her face. And basically she's just telling Shion, listen to Alan. He really does care and love you. Well, Kevin's like, ah, fuck you.
Whoa!
And then he tries to go for another shot, but then Shion finally does something and deflects the shot. It's like, okay, I get it. No, this has to stop now. I'm sorry, Kevin. I know you mean well, and I love you truly, but I can't do this to my friends and my family. They mean so much to me, and if destroying the universe means getting them on my bad side, I can't do it. I have to stand with them. Kevin, for his part, he handles it well. I miss Albino. So yeah, Kevin basically turns into Nightmare from Soul Calibur. I'm not even kidding.
Lucky!
Like, it's damn close. I just linked the what he becomes. That is the form he takes, Kevin, once Shion rejects him. But yeah, he basically has the armor and basically Soul Edge, and he fights like Nightmare. You have another fight with him. He's a lot more pissed off now. He's a creation of the no wings as far as I remember. The best he's got is like this sick-ass combo attack that he goes airborne for, but no wings, I don't think so. I'm sorry this is like really slowing down the drawing, but I really have to start talking about this. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Vanessa. Hit me. We're almost done. We're almost done. We're almost done. So, Kevin is recalled by Wilhelm. He's like, hey, I need your boy. Since Shion isn't doing what we wanted her to. And then, the final boss room, you get to see the Eternal Circle, Zarathustra, which also happens to be the Universe Reset device. And Wilhelm is right there with him. This is it. That's Zarathustra. And that's Kevin in front. So, Wilhelm's end goal is that he is trying to achieve something called eternal recurrence. Wilhelm is a being that has been around for millions of years, probably. He has been manipulating humanity, time, events, all sorts of things for many, many years. Millions of years. And every single time, the universe would get to a point where it would need to be reset, because the role of humanity and all sorts of things is just kind of doing the universe dirty. So he would reset it to the beginning, and then it will start again, and then you do it again and again, in order to make sure the universe would continue living. Because if it didn't intervene, the universe would eventually just cease to exist. So Wilhelm was trying to prevent the universe from, like, exploding from its, on itself. And has to reset it every now and again to stop it, yeah. This is what is called eternal recurrence, and in order to do this, he needs the desire of Shion, as she holds the key to Mary Magdalene's will for Repentant. Chaos originally had the power of Anima, the Jesus miracles, but it was deemed too dangerous, and Mary Magdalene sealed it away, which ended up killing Mary, and that power became the vessels of Anima. Only Mary can unseal that power, and only Shion can make Mary do it. In order to force Shion to will Cosmos to unseal that power of Anima, Wilhelm tortures Shion, like, right in front of her. Unfortunately for Wilhelm, this causes Kevin to snap, as he's like, what the fuck are you doing to my girlfriend? And basically cuts off Wilhelm's arm, and Wilhelm is like, unpleasant. But so this, I figured that you'd do this to me too. So yeah, Wilhelm anticipated that Kevin would indeed betray him, and yeah, Kevin became a testament just so he can save Shion. And then Wilhelm just goes to ham on both Shion and Kevin at the same time. So, Zarathustra is then unleashed. And Zarathustra is like a machine, like, actually. Part of Zarathustra is like a mech. And that is the final boss. But before they actually fight Zarathustra, Kevin takes the opportunity to attack Wilhelm again by lunging his hand through Wilhelm's body and attempting to suppress the power of Zarathustra that way, even if it would end up killing both him and Kevin. Chaos tells Wilhelm that he believes that mankind has the will to change in the future and prevent the universe from destruction. And then the final boss, Zarathustra, promised pain. And yeah, I recently saw the final battle against Zarathustra again. Still as good as I remember it. A nice, pretty cool, climactic final battle. Unless you use Kaiser Sigma, and you can totally one-shot him. Because he only has 70,000 HP. Aside from that, though, yeah, pretty good final boss. Nice, great music. And nice and difficult, too. Well, let me put this in perspective for you, Vanessa. Kaiser Sigma does about 6,000 damage, and it's a 3-hit combo. And then certain characters have a master skill called Blood Dancer, which triples their damage output for several turns. And, stacking on top of several buffs, and if you can get a crit roll, yeah, you can easily get about 20,000 per hit. So, the party defeats Zarathustra. Wilhelm was like, I guess Chaos was right after all, and he disappears along with Kevin, and then Kevin gives a very heartfelt, tearful goodbye to Shion. But now Zarathustra has gone out of control due to the collective minds that were previously gathered by Wilhelm, and Mary, well, Cosmos, has to stay behind with Chaos in order to reseal the power. And on that point, yeah, Mary basically like, hey Chaos, we need your help. Basically unseals Chaos's true power, and he's like, yeah, let's do this. We gotta stop Zarathustra together. Abel reappears, along with Nephilim, the little girl from before. We actually get to see her in her final form this time. Whoops. And Ethel in her final form, looking a bit like Ellie, I gotta say. I think she takes this form when Mary Magdalene's spirit inhabits Nephilim. As for the rest of the party, they decide, yeah, it's time to get the fuck out of here. And so they do so. Leaving Chaos and Cosmos to stay behind to do the thing. while they try to bring all the souls back to Lost Jerusalem, to the origin of time. You know, and hope that they are not caught by the universe about to reset itself, because that is what's about to happen. The universe is about to reset itself. As the party escapes, they notice a lot of Gnosis gathering around the area, and the Gnosis, as mentioned before, they are the collective souls of people who have rejected humanity, but they don't want to leave yet, because, oh, fuck that. Don't make us go back yet. Some of the Gnosis then begin getting hostile and attacking people, and they attack the party on their way out. One of them stands in front of Xion, as she's about to be ambushed by one. I think it's an ogre, in fact. No, is it a goblin? I think it's a goblin. Yeah, I think it's a goblin. A goblin Gnosis appears in front of Xion, spooks her, and then Alan, my fucking boy! Alan grabs a rifle that's nearby, charges headlong into the fray, jumps and body tackles the goblin, beats the shit out of the goblin with the butt of the rifle, like, I will protect Xion, and then shoots it point blank in the face.
The Elsa is just ahead! Hang in there, everyone!
Xion!
I'll show you! I'm gonna protect Xion!
Oh, Alan.
Are you all right? Can you stand up?
Yeah.
Good. Let's go.
And then, in fucking cool ass moment, Alan is like, he's holding the rifle on his shoulder, and he's extending his arm out to Xion, and Xion, who's like on the floor right now looking up at Alan, is like, I have the biggest boner right now. Who the fuck is Kevin? Let's go see this new world together, Alan basically says, and it's like, yeah! Oh, nice, the wiki has the GIF of that scene. Check this out, guys. It's amazing. So, as the party continues to make their escape, Jin realizes things are going to be a little bit more hectic, and I feel like Chaos and Cosmos may need my help, so I'm gonna go back to help them. And so he takes, ES Asher, tells Xion, I'm sorry I was a shit brother to you, but you deserve to be happy. Let this be my last act to you as your big brother, okay? And then he takes Asher and leaves them while the rest of them make it back to Elsa. The Elsa all by themselves. And then we see Jin going back to assisting Chaos and Cosmos as he detonates. He attacks one of the Gnosis up front with Asher, detonates it, and then as he's descending, slashes one of the Gnosis on the way down with his sword, and it's fucking hot. So yeah, Jin proceeds to go to town on the nearby Gnosis to protect Chaos. Then a sword from one of the other Gnosis rains down and stabs Jin right to the chest. I think he even pierces his leg as well. This only slightly disadvantages Jin as he proceeds to take the sword out and begin dual wielding. It'll take more than that, he says, as he begins to fight off some more Gnosis. So Jin fights off a little bit more, and then gets a mutual kill off of another Gnosis. And yes, mutual kill. This blow ends up taking down Jin as well. The most badass character in the series goes out with a smile as he realizes his lot in life. At least he got to go out fucking swinging. And when Chaos looks down and to see Jin now dead, it's like, thanks. I'm sorry that I had to come to this. So, the Lost Jerusalem stuff happens. Zarathustra begins to activate. The Elsa is getting ready to escape, but oh man, it's bad. Like, as they're trying to escape, you see the entirety of space goes white, and they can't use the UMN anymore because it was tied to Wilhelm's power and Zarathustra. And it's been sealed off completely. So as you see the Elsa escape, you see there's like white. It's just white with a bunch of stars, and you see the expanding mass from Zarathustra just engulfing the shit out of planets left and right. Billions upon billions of stars are getting swallowed up, so people are dying, the Gnosis are dying, everyone is fucking dying. And everyone's like, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, can we make it out? Can we get out of here? Also, just after Jin sacrifices himself, Cosmos, slightly damaged, sees a cathedral ship, I think, or like a big carrier Gnosis. I don't think it's a cathedral ship, but close enough, where she just like rams into. She procs Deteneratos, and then just like charges right into it when one of them was about to hit Chaos, and then basically just sacrifices herself as well. So yeah, space and time is warping, all UMN networks disappear so they can't properly gate out. However, there is one last gate sequence that appears on the radar that no one happens to notice. Very faint, but they are just able to get into the path of it. I think this is like one last chance that Wilhelm gives to the party. I think it's Wilhelm who opens a path to them. Say, yeah, you can go do this now. Go and save this world, I guess. So Elsa's not really making it. It's looking really bad. But then, and everyone starts to panic. But then Captain Matthews is very solemn. Is like, well, Master, have I ever told you about the origins of the Elsa? This ship is a Lowen class passenger freighter. Its name means Knight of the Swan. Tony, activate Overboost! The Elsa then begins to grow wings! Similar to how the wings that shielded the Elsa back in episode 1. And then they go maximum boosto towards the last column space. They just managed to escape. But when they wake up, the party wakes up, there's just nothing. They're in the vast void of space, and it's nothing. No stars, no light, nothing. They try to get some communication going. And Xion is like, "Hey, is anyone hear me? Anyone hear us?" No answer for a little bit, just a lot of static. But eventually they hear a voice. "Can anyone hear us? Please? Please say something. Xion, is that you?" The voice happens to be Miyuki. In the distance, they see the Damarong. Vector's colony is closing in on them. And Xion's like, "Miyuki? Is that you?" And Miyuki's like, "Oh, thank God. Xion, you guys are okay." They happen to make it too. Even Xion's like, "Honestly, that girl." And everyone winds down now. The party makes it back. Junior, Xion, and Alan. They all decided to say their goodbyes to the rest of the party. They are going to go off in search of Lost Jerusalem, planet Earth, in order to set humanity back onto the course, its proper course, once and for all, and live out their lives, while everyone else is trying to do damage control now that the UMN is toast, and I don't know, billions of people are dead now? But it's okay, we'll make it work. Lost Jerusalem also happens to be the place where now Jin, Chaos, and Mary Magdalene's consciousness sleep now, as they were taken in by Zarathustra, and is where the key to saving the universe lies. They say their goodbye, and as we're about to cut to credits, Xion has one long-winded speech. It's a pretty good one though, at least, of how she understands what Wilhelm was planning to do, and understanding his motivations. And it's like, we don't have to feel like we are doomed to lead into existence. We have to repeat everything over and over again. Who wants that? That's dumb. The future is not bleak. It is in fact overflowing with hope. She says, as the universe is now fucking hanging on a thread. Roll credits. As the credits play, we get to see Cosmos, who's now just a torso and an arm and a head floating in space. We get to hear Chaos's voice. saying, "It's okay, Cosmos. We still have work to do at some point. The universe will still need us at some point. But until the time comes where we are needed again, we must rest now. And so should you. So good night, Cosmos." Cosmos then closes her eyes, says good night, and we see her body heading along into the setting sun and what looks like planet Earth. Curtains down. That is Xenosaga Episode 3. And that concludes the trilogy. There was gonna be 6 games! There was gonna be 6 games! As in, no, what are you doing? Go back, go back! So, yeah, it's a fucking mess. Like, it's a mess. I enjoy episode 1 a lot, warts and all. Episode 2 is a train wreck, but there's some things to like about it, but it's largely just a mess. Episode 3 is a good game, but wow, they were really on a tight limit here. But they gave it a shot, and really, gotta hand it to them. It is a miracle. Yeah, I gotta agree, it is a fucking miracle that Xenoblade happened, and it turned out to be as good as it was. Yeah, they really did have to cram in, like, several episodes worth of content into this one game alone. Do I think Xenoblade happened in Xenosaga? Hard to say. I think they have a separate continuity. Given what happens in given what happens in Xenoblade 2. There was a massive continuity shift.
Go!
She was not in a very side story. Oh, I forget if she was even mentioned in it. She's not in it. Man, I completely lost my focus on this drawing, but I'll take it. because I got your reactions out of explaining Xenosaga 3. You know what? That's worth it. Where are we in this game? Daisy in the gutter, Power World looking good. Everyone has a massive amount of coins because no one will just spend anything. Yeah, see, I told you I needed the 50 turns to talk about this fucking game. It's a fucking long one. Oh yeah, there's a significantly small amount of candy. When you have a nice hat and someone manages it and you feel nice. Yeah, it's a pretty good move there, Ford. You know, I still have yet to actually watch a full run of Xenogears. I just know the plot synopsis, but haven't actually seen the whole game front to back. Like, gameplay-wise, it's very solid. The combat's nice. The gear system is cool. And, like, its story is okay? Like, I know about the nosedive of quality it takes in Disc 2 because they literally ran out of time and budget. Thanks, Final Fantasy VIII. Oh, I know Xenogears was meant to be pitched as an idea to be FF7, but they nixed that idea because it was way too dark of a story for a Final Fantasy. By the time it was being worked on, FF8 was on being in development, was about to be released, and all hands on deck. Actually, though, I remember hearing recently that that was not the reason. It was actually something related to it, but not that it was not FF8's fault. Xenogears ended up the way it was because it was. The FF8 task is shorter. Just gonna stop for now. Because I've completely lost the plot because I was talking about Xenosaga for so long. I'll just leave it at this. Of Of course I knew I wasn't gonna finish by the time I finished these, we saw through Mario Party 8, because these games go by at a faster pace than I was expecting, to be honest. I was expecting more along the lines of Mario Party 7, but no, I forgot how much brisker these games won't go on. Yeah, Mario Party in general, they're fun to watch, AI battles. Like, I can always just pop in a video and just have one on in background noise. They just hit right at home for me. S64 era, fucking great. 4 is fine, 5 is bad, 6 is meh, 6 is meh, 7 is good, 8 is fine. These were fun, these are all fun. And the nice, what was really nice about doing these is that they're doing these videos, they serve as nice time capsules for my art progress. Like, if you go back to watching my Mario Party 1 AI stuff compared to now, huge difference in art quality. Oh, what was my favorite? 3. 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Did I mention it's 3? Because it's Mario Party 3. Okay. Okay, we're done. Welcome to the finale. You ran so far. Alright. How are the bonus stars? So the first is the candy star. Candy goes to Mario. Next is Green Star. Green Star is Hammer Bro. And the last one, Shopping. This'll be good. Shopping star is Mario. And now, the winner is Mario. And so it was that Mario Party was forever renamed Mario Party. Yeah, you just got it. So many coins! Jesus Christ! Oh. Oh. Toad 1 minigame star. Damn, Mario, we're really gonna go shopping. Be more candy than second. Jesus, the running. Mario got that speed on speed fucking dial. Holy shit. Speed Weedle. Ah, rip. Toad is overweight. Well, that's that. That was the last one. Man, Mario Party, it's a real shame that I can't do any of the games after this one, because I want to go to bat for 9. I want to rib on 10. I want to really rib on Island Tour. Ah, but they were fun. This was fun. I'm glad we did these. They were nice ways to flex and just shoot the breeze, which is always fun. This was a triumph, and I got to flex and talk, and it was good. And these were fun. The Star Carnival was a good time, but alas, everything, like all things, must come to an end. Until next time, Mario Party, thank you for